Undisputed WWE Champion and former AEW Executive Vice President Cody Rhodes appears with several former AEW stars last night on NXT. The ratings are in for Monday's edition of Raw. Cody Rhodes, speaking of NXT, announces that a Battle Royal will take place next week to determine the new number one contender for the NXT Championships, and different locker rooms are set to be involved. The judge denies Vince McMahon's motion to arbitrate the Janelle Grant lawsuit case. Brooks Jensen attempts to interrupt and disrupt the NXT broadcast last night. More details on Io Sky's upcoming match in Marigold. And does Sexy Red's future hang in the balance after her arrest? We'll let you know all of the details. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off with Cody Rhodes, who made a trip to NXT last night and maybe bumped into some familiar faces, shall we say. Now, Cody Rhodes gathered with a squad of fellow former AEW stars on screen during last night's June 11 edition of NXT on the USA Network. Now, earlier in the show, Cody Rhodes made an appearance where he informed Trick Williams of the future when it comes to the NXT Championship. We'll talk about that later on. But there was a segment and a moment featuring Cody Rhodes towards the end of the show, this time featuring numerous former fellow AEW stars. Rhodes was shown backstage bumping into former AEW rival and real-life friend Shawn Spears before they were joined by two others. Rhodes and Spears were joined by the likes of Ethan Page in the frame, as well as Lexis King, also former AEW stars, King being under his real name Brian Pillman Jr. during his time in All Elite Wrestling. Before leaving, Rhodes said, quote, "Seems like you guys are in a good place," end quote. Now, Rhodes was all over the show as well last night. He actually gave a gift to NXT's JC Jane. Jane, who was wearing her own face shield after having surgery on her nose, was given Rhodes' undashing mask from many years ago. But what do you make of this backstage segment involving Rhodes, Spears, Page, and Lexis King? Do you think it's a shot at AEW? Do you think he's right that they are in a better place? What do you think about the treatment of these stars that have jumped from AEW to WWE? And do you think AEW is going to respond tonight on AEW Dynamite? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now, let's talk about the ratings for Monday Night Raw this week. Now, while Raw may not have to worry about coming across the NBA Finals should the Boston Celtics continue their dominance over the Dallas Mavericks, Monday's episode from the Red Brand still had to face some strong competition in the form of the NHL's Stanley Cup Finals. The good news is that Raw didn't suffer a major drop going against hockey, though the bad news is that it still suffered a slight decline. WrestleNomics is reporting that Monday's episode of Raw drew 1.609 million viewers and a 0.50 in the coveted 18 to 49 demographic. Now, as noted, both numbers were down a little bit from a week ago, with total viewership falling 4% from 1.679 million, while the 18 to 49 was down 6% from a 0.53. Those drops were similar for Raw in comparison to the 4-week average, with total viewership down 4% and the 18 to 49 down 7%. Now, Monday's episode of Raw was the lowest total viewership number since May 13, when they drew 1.589 million, going against both the NBA and NHL. The show also drew its lowest number in the 18 to 49 demographic since January 15's 0.45, when Raw faced NFL playoff competition, including a game featuring future Raw guest star Patrick Mahomes. Now, in terms of the quarter-hour ratings, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics, so shout out to them and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service. And as you can see, the total viewership, largely apart from one segment, was below the average of the last 90 days. Same when it comes to the 18 to 49 demographic. While Raw served as the go-home show for the upcoming Clash at the Castle PLE being held in Glasgow, Scotland this Saturday, arguably the biggest story on the show was the use of Ricochet. The former Intercontinental United States and NXT North American champion was brutally put through a car windshield by Bron Breakker in an angle that was expected to write Ricochet off WWE television prior to him leaving the company when his WWE contract expires in the coming weeks. So what do you make of the numbers for Raw this week? What do you make of possibly the numbers going down? Do you expect them to come back up? What are your thoughts on really the only spike in the show that was actually, I guess, normal, which was the Ilya Dragunov Bron Breakker continued, and the segment involving Ricochet after that as well. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Now let's go back to NXT last night. As I mentioned, a big update when it comes to the future of the NXT Championship. Now, Cody Rhodes made a special appearance on the very brand that his father, Dusty Rhodes, once pioneered, WWE NXT, last night. Amidst his return on last night's episode, Cody Rhodes came face to face with the reigning NXT champion Trick Williams, who asked the American Nightmare for some champion-to-champion advice. After imparting some words of wisdom, though, Rhodes informed Williams that he had some additional news to give him, specifically pertaining to his NXT championship. Per the instruction of NXT General Manager Ava, Williams' next challenger will be determined in a 25-man over-the-top rope battle royal on next week's episode of NXT. Furthermore, some of the battle royal participants will be brought in from different locker rooms. Now, there is no word on whether these outside competitors will originate from WWE's main roster, from Raw or SmackDown, TNA Wrestling, or potentially another promotion that WWE has yet to inform everyone they've got a working relationship with. Regardless of which locker room they represent, the winner of this battle royal will then face Williams for the NXT Championship in the near future. Now, Rhodes' teasing of the Forbidden Door appearances comes in the middle of the recently reignited partnership between WWE and TNA Wrestling. The latest interpromotional installment saw NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez successfully defend her title against TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace at the 2024 NXT Battleground Premium Live event. Despite Grace's loss, speculation of additional WWE and TNA crossovers continue, with the aforementioned number one contenders battle royal, as well as Grace's upcoming open challenge title defense, which is set to take place at Against All Odds. Now, when it comes to more details on this crossover between WWE and TNA Wrestling, a new report from Fightful Select reports that the TNA and NXT crossover does not look like it's ending anytime soon. With this weekend's TNA Against All Odds, Jordynne Grace has made an open challenge. She's told Fightful she hopes it's a WWE talent and expects the partnership between the two sides to continue after this weekend. Those that Corey Brennan spoke to in NXT spoke highly of former talent in TNA, such as Mustafa Ali and Zachary Wentz, among others, in discussing crossover opportunities. Now, it's long been known in NXT that Shawn Michaels was a big supporter of Mustafa Ali prior to his WWE release and had big plans for him on the brand prior to his exit. But those that Fightful spoke to noted that if Ali were to appear in NXT, it would have to be on his terms, that it wasn't specified what that meant. However, it's important to note that Fightful Sean Ross Sapp confirmed Mustafa Ali isn't actually signed to a TNA contract and could appear completely separate of anything associated with NXT. Ali was scheduled to become a champion before his NXT/WWE release. Now, regarding Zachary Wentz, Sapp also spoke to sources at the start of 2023 who said their stance on Wentz had softened following his release and that there is a good chance he could appear for the brand again in the future if the right situation occurs. New Catch Republic were announced as teaming with Wes Lee, with many expecting the natural setup to be a Rascals reunion. Of course, that didn't happen. Ash by Elegance, the former Dana Brooke, was brought in at the very last minute and hidden away for her spot, as she told Comic Book's Liam Crowley. She was asked on very short notice. She wasn't seen backstage prior, but WWE sources Sean Ross Sapp spoke to said she was always very well liked there. Now, one WWE source Sean Ross Sapp spoke to mentioned Moose as someone that the company had interest in for years prior, and TNA sources have noted that Moose has been very outspoken about wanting to participate in the crossover. Moose had been courted by WWE under previous regimes, with Canyon Ceman reaching out. So there's a possibility that we could see more crossover. In fact, there is an expectation that the crossover will continue. Now, a bit of an update when it comes to Vince McMahon and his legal situations at the moment. Now, the civil case between Janelle Grant and WWE, Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and others has been officially put on hold. New court documents found by WrestleNomics' Brandon Thurston states that the judge in the case has granted Grant's attorney's request for a stay in the trial so that the U.S. federal government can continue its criminal investigation into McMahon. In granting the stay, the judge also denied McMahon's attorney's motion to force the case into private arbitration as per the stipulations of the unfulfilled NDA between McMahon and Grant, though the motion was denied without prejudice, meaning it could be granted at the court's discretion later on. There are also a number of sealed documents attached, likely pertaining into the government's criminal investigation to McMahon. Now, Grant's complaint claims that she was sexually harassed, abused, tortured, and trafficked while employed by WWE as an assistant to McMahon. It was later revealed that the federal government was also investigating McMahon, Laurinaitis, and WWE for abuse and trafficking, with a motion to stay Grant's civil case revealing that the Department of Justice was looking into Grant's claims. In a statement to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, a representative for McMahon said, quote, Mr. McMahon is eager to prove Miss Grant's claims are false and expose her lies, but did not object to the government's request to pause the matter in connection with the investigation regarding disclosures at WWE. Following the 6-month stay, when his legal team is able to get discovery and depose Miss Grant and others, the evidence will show the relationship was consensual and Miss Grant's allegations are malicious and fabrications of a jilted lover. End quote. McMahon resigned from WWE and TKO Group Holdings in January after news of the lawsuit became public. Of course, McMahon had initially stepped down and retired from WWE in 2022, but he later returned in 2023 to help complete a merger between WWE and UFC, forming TKO Group Holdings under UFC parent company Endeavor. Of course, if we get any more details on the developments of the lawsuit or the criminal investigation, we'll let you know in a future video. Now, Brooks Jensen, has been this ongoing storyline surrounding his frustration with NXT management, and last night, seemingly troubled star Brooks Jensen made another interruption at the NXT taping. In recent weeks, the storyline has been unfolding with Jensen despite his absence from television. On social media, he has voiced his displeasure with how he's been treated with NXT, and in storyline, he's been barred from showing up at any WWE or NXT shows. However, there have been a few shows he's appeared at, although not on screen until last night. Last week, during the commercials, Jensen ran into the ringside area and started shouting at announcers Vic Joseph and Booker T before being dragged out by security. Now, that wasn't shown on TV, but the clips were shared around on social media. Last night, pretty much the same thing happened, only this time we saw a glimpse of it on camera, as you can see on the picture on the screen right now. Now, over the weekend, Jensen appeared at an indie show specifically for his father, former WWE superstar Bull Buchanan's Bullpen Professional Wrestling. While some fans were unsure at first, Fightful has reported that the situation with Jensen is a storyline, and there have been suggestions of it being similar to the story between Grayson Waller and NXT booker Shawn Michaels in the past. Now, speaking of cross-promotional stuff, a bit more of an update when it comes to Io Sky's upcoming match in Marigold. Now, at the conclusion of Dreamstar Fighting's Marigold June 11 Korakuen Hall show, former WWE Women's Champion Io Sky challenged Yutami Hayashi Shita to a singles match in a pre-recorded video. The bout has been made official for Marigold's Summer Destiny event on July 13. According to Tokyo Sports, details surrounding Io's upcoming appearance that was revealed was that the video that aired during the June 11 Marigold show was actually filmed after the June 10 episode of Raw. Marigold president Rossi Ogawa revealed to the outlet that negotiations for Io Sky's appearance began in March. Talks were further sped up when Ogawa and Julia visited WWE for WrestleMania 40 weekend in Philadelphia. Ogawa stated that it is probably because of the connection to Julia that WWE responded to his request to book Io for the upcoming event. Sky previously worked for Ogawa during her time with Stardom. Now, after the July 13 Marigold Summer Destiny event, WWE is returning to Japan for 3 shows in late July. When you get any more details on future crossovers, of course, we'll let you know. And finally, a bit of an update when it comes to Sexy Red and her NXT future after news she was arrested last weekend. NXT Battleground host rapper Sexy Red's future with the company does not appear to be in jeopardy following her recent arrest in New Jersey before the recent Premium Live event. Fightful Select reported Tuesday that sources within NXT and WWE don't expect the arrest to prevent the rapper from appearing on WWE programming moving forward. The outlet reported that as of Sunday night, following Battleground, appearances for Red on NXT were planned in the future. The arrest reportedly did come as a surprise to WWE officials, according to Fightful, as they were unaware of anything taking place the night before the PLE. According to TMZ, which provided surveillance video of the incident, Red was arrested at Liberty International Airport for a minor offense, but the video shows she appeared to be a part of a huge brawl at the airport. The outlet reported it doesn't appear Red made any contact with anyone in the fight and someone pulled her away from everything. Port Authority told TMZ she was arrested for disorderly conduct, and as of Tuesday afternoon, Red had taken to X to say that actually it wasn't her. Now, Red not only appeared as the Battleground host, but also on the show's May 28 episode as well. She was seen in the ring at the end of the show on Sunday alongside NXT champion Trick Williams after he defeated Ethan Page. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.